You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what.
Hey, welcome to Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We've got discussions, we've got Discord chat, we've got sex espousal, we've got political Swifties. All that, much, much more here on the block. Greeno here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok, and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to The Starting Block for another week. You're joined by myself, Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who I'm wondering whether he can actually hear me or not. I'm concerned about the audio settings. My Captain Damon Hobby, sir.
Very good, Greeno. I can hear you. Well done. Nice, Gary. Let's give you a nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Yeah, no, I can hear you loud and clear, mate. Doing well. Doing all right. Yeah, we're back for season 2 of the block for 2024. We took our first break.
Yeah.
Last week for Australia Day. What did you do for Australia Day, incidentally?
Australia, what did I do? I didn't do too much. I kind of sat around. We did the lamb, as we discussed at the back end of last week's show. Did a lamb and gravy roll, and that was enough.
Yeah.
And not too much. Just do what I do every other day, really. Sat around the house.
Did you? Can I ask you something? Did your work give any communication about Australia Day at all, or?
Well, they told us we had the day off, so that's all I cared about.
That's all you got, or did they tell you anything else? Was there any other kind of communication surrounding Australia Day, or?
No, not at all. It was like, they come in Friday, and we'll see on Monday.
Let me tell you, I got a quick little story time for you.
I like stories about pinatas.
Got an interesting piece of communication from my work about Australia Day.
Okay, were they disappointed we didn't do Unity Day this year? Was that the communication?
Yeah, you would think so. There was no Unity. That's right, we didn't do Unity Day. Why didn't we do Unity Day this year?
A lot of effort to come up with all those pop references.
Yeah, fuck. This is the first time. Well, I'm sure Unity Day went off without a hitch, Greeno. I didn't hear anything about it, so it was probably went swimmingly.
The organising committee.
We've delegated it, yeah.
We feel as though that there's enough disunity already.
Yeah.
We don't want to add another cab to the rank. Maybe we just put it on hiatus for this year. We'll be back in 2025.
2025 Unity Day is going to be banging, man.
We had 2 years to plan it. 2024, we had to give it a hiatus because we felt there was too much disunity that it was going to ruin the joy that is Unity Day.
Well, we also had people trying to steal Unity Day, didn't we? So there's actually an ongoing legal case that's happening.
Legal battle, our lawyers suggested maybe we just put it on the back burner for 1 year whilst the legal proceedings get underway.
That's right.
So a few things in the back burner.
Yeah, well, my work actually put out a little communique that was about. More or less, the message was, don't celebrate Australia Day too hard because some people find it offensive. Like, I'm not kidding. To the point where they were like, maybe it was literally written in this communique. Hey, maybe you should consider on Australia Day reaching out to some Indigenous communities and trying to help them.
Just
it was fucking full on, man.
Look, let's just take that on face value, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember, we're in our middle ages, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember a time ever in a work environment
where
someone's been so pumped up to celebrate Australia Day that they send out messages and emails to work colleagues like, fucking Australia Day, woo! It never happens because everyone's like, it's a public holiday. No one really goes hard on the work communique.
Yeah.
About, it's not really a patriotic thing. Australians just pumped to have a day off.
Yeah, this came from the top. This came from the top.
But I don't feel like it was an issue to begin with because I've never had anyone in any team I've ever worked with in the 25 years I've been working ever be like, hey man, how fucking pumped up were you for Australia?
It was filled with mealy mouth kind of word salad, and it's like, we need to share our narratives, and it's like, oh god. But the thing that I liked the most about it, Greeno, I only saw this on Monday morning. You know why? Because it was sent out at 10 o'clock at night on Thursday. So everyone's already gone.
Hey, you got to tick the box.
Yeah. But you don't want to do it at 9 a.m. on Thursday when people might read it and go, excuse me? When you might get a reaction. You do it afterwards. You do it after.
And let's give fucking Mark Gary to upper management.
They did it when everyone had already gone home for the long weekend. That's when they went out of their way to say, hey, by the way, could be invasion day, I'm going
to stick up the upper management here because what happened is they got a little message from HR and said, look,
you need to put something out. Yeah.
We've had a chat around the HR office. We feel that this is an appropriate communication that you need to send the company. And the big boss have all sat there and gone,
what do we do? What do we do? This is contentious. People will be upset.
These big bosses would have slaughtered 800 Indigenous people for $1.50. So they've gone, how do we deal with this situation? Let's send it out at 10 p.m. Yeah. When we know everyone's logged off, we've ticked our HR box. Yeah. We sent it out before Australia Day.
Yeah, 2 hours before.
So we celebrate Australia Day too hard. Yeah. Between 10 and midnight.
Yeah,
that's all we're saying. Put it on there. Good on that.
At which point, again, you have to ask, because I'm someone who struggles to walk past things that have no purpose, without pointing out to everybody, hey, why are we doing this? This is pointless. This is a waste of time. What's the point then? If if everybody sees it after the holiday,
They tick the box.
then there's no, but fuck ticking your box.
Do you,
Fuck ticking
okay,
your box.
no, it's all about ticking the box, right? So you would
Then
have been,
tick it proudly. Or don't tick it at all.
No, you just got to tick it. You don't no, you would have been given a whole
Drives
bunch.
me nuts, this stuff.
No, it does.
It's not even the Australia Day debate. It's the way that you did it. That's what drives me nuts.
No, that's the beauty of it. Because if they did it on the Monday, the week before, everyone would have been fucking angry. They've done it the right way.
The right way, by hiding it in the middle of the night.
They know it's fucking stupid. They feel like they're told they have to do it. And they're like, oh, well, let's tick that box then. Yeah. But we're going to do it. And we're going to show
that's exactly the point. If we all acknowledge that it wasn't worth doing in the working hours when everyone will see it, then why fucking do it at all? Why do any message at all?
My question, right? You would have been asked to do a whole bunch of HR online learnings in your job. Correct in saying that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I have 27 of these fuckers to do every year.
Yep.
All right? I've done them. I've been in my company for 15 years this year. And I have done the exact same modules for 15 years straight. But apparently it's a requirement that I'm aware of these things and have to do the same modules year after year after year.
Yep.
Now, do I pay attention to the modules? No. Do I tick all the boxes and fast forward through all these fuckers to the end point where it looks like I've watched the hour of video and just went straight to the end of the YouTube clip to tick the box? Yes, because I know it's fucking stupid and I tick the box and I move on. Now, should I be doing it? No, I agree with you there. But if I tick the box and it's been as most inconvenient, as least inconvenient as possible, yes. Yeah. And that's what you do in business.
Well, that's why you and I are different in some ways. Because if I was this big manager, if I genuinely felt like this is not a message that I want to put my name to, I would be forced to. I have to sleep. I have to be able to sleep at night. You know what I mean? I would have to turn around and say, look, there's no need for a communication about Australia Day. People know what it is and what it isn't, and it's not for us to provide moral guidance on the issue. We're dealing with adults who have their own opinions. They will make their own determinations, and all this is going to do is inflame a debate which we'd rather not have at work. So I'm not putting out a message. And if someone from, another fucking big swinging dick from corporate came down on me and said, oh, you have to put out a message for diversity and stuff, I'd say, put it out yourself.
Yeah.
Or sack me.
Do I agree with what you just said? 100% I agree.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm not in upper management.
That's right. Same here.
Because I have these arguments with people and say, I'm not fucking sending that.
Yeah. I'm not putting my name on that. I don't care.
Put my name on that.
What are you going to do? I'm not doing
I've had that conversation many a time going, I'm not sending that.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You fire me? Fire me for that? I got an unfair dismissal case. Excellent. Well done. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And no one ever fires.
You've got a clearly contentious issue. Stop trying to please everybody. Why don't you try not to please anyone? How about let's do that instead?
Yeah. If your office was maybe 80% Indigenous, suddenly be like, hey, we need to fucking make sure we're on top of this.
Yeah.
Is there a statistic of the amount of Indigenous staff members you have?
I reckon there'd be 10 times as many Asians working there.
Exactly. Point. So it's kind of like creating an issue out of nothing. Well, it's not really an issue. No one really gives a fuck. But
it's a corporate. These the upper corporate types think that it's their responsibility to be an icon in the fucking community. So that's all garbage. It's all garbage. Nobody's sitting at home wondering, I wonder what this corporate giant thinks about Australia Day. No one cares.
Make sure the job's done and we're happy days.
That's it.
Speaking of this, I can't remember if I told this story on the show before. I'm going to tell it again anyway. In this scenario, in this vibe, we got asked to do an inclusion training seminar.
Yeah.
Mandatory across the business, right?
Yeah.
We got sent in September, and these online learnings normally have a certain amount of time. You got X amount of time to do them, and that's all good, no dramas. Now I checked the due date of this bad boy, 30 June 2024.
Yep. You're going to do it on the 29th, aren't you?
So everyone's jumped on it. It's knocked it off. My boss, hey, everyone done this training, and everyone said yeah, except for me, and I put my hand up. I'm like, no, I haven't done it yet. He's like, oh, okay, can you get on that? I'm like, what's the due date? And he goes, oh, I don't know, I didn't look. I'm like, well, it's 30th of June. And he's like, oh, okay. So when are you going to do it? I'm like, 30 June.
Yeah. Fucking
Because
nice guy.
personally, I find it very fucking insulting
Yep.
to be asked to do an inclusion training
Yeah.
for a team that I run that has
Yeah.
one Australian, two Malaysians,
Yeah.
one Spanish person, one Yugoslavian. We have an equal split of male and female, and we have a gay person in our team.
That's it, but and this
Oh, my
drives to
God.
the point of this. It's not inclusion training to make you forget about, to get everyone to get along. It's actually intended to do the opposite under the opposite veneer. They want you talking about what different races people are and stuff. They want you focusing on it. Well, we've got two Malaysians and one gay guy and three women. Like, if the point were that we want everybody to blend in and work as a team and not have a big importance on that, then you wouldn't be doing this. But by doing this, you're ensuring that people put a higher importance on the fucking racial makeup of your employees.
I need to reframe what the training was. Sorry, my bad. It was unconscious bias.
Unconscious bias, yeah.
By not giving people of minorities a job.
Yeah.
That was the training. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously fucking not doing it very well, this unconscious bias
I'm
thing.
obviously failing, yeah.
Have a look at my team. It's everything you're saying I should be hiring.
Yeah.
and not because I hired these people because of the fact they were Malaysian, they were female, they were gay. It was they were just the best fucking people for the job. It just happened to work out that way.
More broadly speaking, the due date thing interests me in the corporate world because I have similar situations where, we have like a few days or a week or something to do certain tasks. And, I think I'm fairly good at prioritizing my time and allocating my time. So guess what? I deal with the absolute most pending shit first, and then I circle outwards, right? So I'm not going to drop what's pending now to do something that's due in a week, right? Like that would be stupid because then I'm focusing on the thing that's due a week from now and not focusing on the thing that I need to do in the next 2 hours. Like that's pretty fucking dumb. But every now and then, like someone will say to me, "Oh, hi mate, can you take care of this?" And I'll look and it'll be like due in 5 days. And I'm like, "Sorry, why do you need this now?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, just be really good if you could." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's due in 5 days." And they're like, yeah, but we'd like to wrap this up before the end of the month. And I'm like, I take the attitude, well, if the company wants this thing to be done,
At the end of the month.
yeah. Well, if the company wants this thing to be done immediately, then they should change the due date. Because I'm not going to. Yeah, because tomorrow you'll be writing to me going, "How come you didn't do that thing I needed yesterday?" It's like because today you asked me to do the thing that's due next week. And you'd go, "Oh, you got to have better time management." So you're actually forced to tell people no, in the name of time management. In order to avoid them coming to you and accusing you of having poor time management. It's so many ass backwards things that go on in this weird little world of office people, mate. It's really every day I learn something new about people doing this.
Business.
Yeah. Hey, mate, can you take care of that thing? Oh, yeah. When's it due? Next week. Oh, well,
I'll do it next week.
I'll get to you next week. Oh, we could really use it today. Yeah, I bet you could. But unfortunately, there's other things I need to do today, so I can't help you.
Nip those in the butt before we do that.
Yeah. Because guess what? Last week, some asshole was asking me if I can do this other thing that's due today. And I told him the same thing. So you're not special, I
had this conversation because I run a team. So every escalation for inverted commas urgent gets stuck in my inbox, right? So that's fine, but you got to deal with everything. So everything's urgent, right? Yeah. So you got to really sift through the shit to work out what's truly urgent. And there's stuff that's actually urgent, and you have to work on it. And there's other stuff where you're like, well, is it really urgent? I don't really know. But it reaches the point sometimes where you're getting an influx of urgence to the point where you have to go back to people that have inflated the urgence to the extent where there's like 7 of their own items that are urgent.
Yeah, they can't all be the same amount of urgent, can they?
You have to go back to them and go, well, you've told me these 6 things are urgent, and we can only do 2 of them. Which ones are the urgent of the urgent? Because everything else then
the urgent of the urgent. We're going to have to create a new category beyond urgent. It's going to be ultra urgent. Yeah.
Urgent, ultra urgent. We're going to do tiers of urgent to work out what the true
You know what'll happen then, though? As soon as you introduce ultra urgency, then everything will be ultra urgent then.
Yeah, exactly. you don't introduce it. That's why I make it justify why it's urgent in the original thing. And everyone hates me.
Yeah.
But that's my job. I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's urgent because the customer's yelling at me. Well, why is the customer yelling at you? Oh, because I left it in my inbox for 6 weeks.
Yes, exactly.
Why is it urgent from my team then? Because you fucked up. No, I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
and see this is why I don't have these problems with urgency and whatnot, because I'm so good at managing my time and prioritizing urgency myself. You know, I then have the ability to jump on things before they become urgent.
I'm urgent. I say, man.
So it's never a problem for me. But I always get from other people, oh, hey, mate, this is urgent. And I'll look at it. And the first email because they'll send you like the whole chain. They'll be like, can you urgently fix this? Yeah. And I've just got it now. And I'll be like, okay. And then I just scroll down the email chain. I see that they got it a week ago. You know, I'm like, well, hang on. Why wasn't it urgent then? What have you done?
I went on story time. Yeah. I went on annual leave.
I like stories about pinatas.
I went on annual leave as of last Friday. So I did the right things. I put out communique early in the week to go, hey, I'm off. Like, I'm out to the wider thing. If you need to escalate, I found a replacement for me for the management shit. Yeah. I'm like, if you need it, it's fucking like to normally harass me for, harass this person.
That's Mr. Urgent right there.
Yeah, that's Miss Urgent, actually. Over there. You know, fucking equality, unconscious bias, but I appointed my replacement.
We got a nice chickie babe taking care of it, all right? Slap her on the ass.
We've got a Czechoslovakian female who's my replacement.
Lovely.
So I can't be any more, aside from the fact that she's straight, I couldn't be any more unconscious unbiased. So
if only she was a lesbian.
If only I would have. You
need to try harder. I think you need to take another course, Greeno.
Course on the 30th. So I've sent out this. I've then gone to a meeting on the Thursday morning with a group of other managers and said, look, once again, in case anyone didn't see my email, just a heads up.
Yep.
I'm off. Like, I'm out. Thanks for coming. Yeah. If you need to annoy anyone about anything, speak to this lady over here. Very, very good.
Yeah.
That's like, so I finish at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. At 3:50, I get this thing from this bloke that was in both of those meetings.
Here we go. Yeah.
Hey, mate. This thing urgent from legal. The thing that you sent a month and a half ago back to me and said, go get this. I forgot to do that. And now shit is due. They want it back in a day. What's the chances? And I'm like, well.
Did he literally say, what's the chances?
Chances. I'm like, well,
what a fucking, I'm going to interrupt you. First of all, what an arrogant piece of, so if I'm reading that, what an arrogant piece of shit, first of all. Then it's like, what are the chances? And I'm like, what do you mean, what are the chances? You're the one who blew the fucking chance. So what the fuck are you asking me for? See, if I get tone like that in emails, I immediately put it to the back of the pile. I don't give a fuck how urgent it is. If you're disrespectful to that extent, I'm like, oh, fuck you, mate. You know, like
it didn't even matter to me because I'm like, well, I've already told this dude twice now in meetings that I'm not here as of the end of today.
Yeah.
So he's asking, going, hey, can you get this done? I'm like, mate, can I get about a week's worth of work done in the 12 minutes before I go on annual leave? No, man, that's not going to happen. No. So,
take care of it. And that was my.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I asked you to get this stuff a month and a half ago. Yeah. You're sending it to me and asking if to get it one day. Not going to happen, mate. And secondly, as per the meeting fucking earlier this morning, like, I'm not here, dickhead. Go and ask this person.
Yeah.
They'll deal with it. And we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended it. But it was like, not my job. Like, I can sit there and stress about it. Not my problem. No, man, that's someone else's problem. Yeah. I'm off it. But I did laugh. The fact, like, I'm like, I try to do the right thing. I try and make people aware of, like, hey, like, if anything's needed, go and speak to this person. They wasn't even listening in the 2 meetings and the 3 emails.
Yeah, they couldn't care less. They're not reading the emails. They're not listening in the meetings.
They called me at, 5 minutes to my annual leave and said, hey, can we get this done? Nah, not going to happen.
No,
They're not going to throw my thing on
it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Look, I've come to this. I've had this kind of consciousness, this awakening of my consciousness over the last period of time, and it's a very similar thing. Because I'm the guy who takes care of everything immediately. You know, like I don't have shit sitting in my to-do pile for weeks on end. I just don't. I deal with it every day. Like
it's done, mate.
Yeah, I get shit done. I like to have everything out at the end of the day, inbox empty. I like it nice. I want to start every day with a clean slate and end every day with a clean slate. You know what I mean? But you have to work in with people who just don't work that way. And they procrastinate and they fuck around, and then they come to you trying to, expecting you to kind of save the day for them. And I've adjusted, because like when you're waiting on other people to do things, and in order to perform your job, I used to stress about that. I'd be like, oh, come on, man. Come on. I'm trying to get a hold of you. Come on. I'm trying to call. I'll call them. I'd fucking write them emails. I'd be like, hey, have you got it yet? Have you got it yet? And it's been so obvious that I'm not going to get anything that way, because people are so either lazy or fucking incompetent that they're just not capable of doing their own basic functions in order to allow me to do mine, that I just don't play anymore. So it'll be like, I send them an email and be like, hi mate, I need this by the end of the week. And I get no reply. A couple of days later, I send them a follow-up. Hey mate, just following up, just letting you know, I'm going to need this by the end of the week. Otherwise this, and this. And if they get no reply, I go, okay. And I drop it. I leave it. And then if someone comes to me saying, oh, well, how come this wasn't done? I say, ask them. Here's the emails I sent. Here's the follow-ups I did. We're all adults here. It's not my fucking job to make sure other people do theirs. All right. So I've done everything I can. I'm waiting on them. If you need it from me, then I'm sorry. You go to them and ask them what they're doing. It's not my fucking problem anymore. Right. And nice Gary, end of fucking story. Nice Gary. I've done everything I can. I do everything I can. And if I'm prevented from doing everything I can by people who are clearly, not interested in doing what they need to do, then I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. I'm not a boss or anything. I'm not a manager.
We're all big boys here.
Yeah, we're supposed to be all adults, right? And people come back with the lamest excuses like, oh, I've got so many emails. Well, fucking welcome to the so does everyone else.
Stop subscribing. Yeah. Stop subscribing to shit.
If you can't manage your inbox, why are you in a position? Why are you doing this job in the first place?
Get out of the corporate world.
Oh, no. Mate, you should have called me and followed it. No, I shouldn't. No. I sent you.
I sent you a follow-up email.
I sent you 3 emails over the last week and a half. You didn't reply to one of them. Oh, you should have given me a call. Why? You couldn't even reply to my emails. Why the fuck should I go out of my way to call you?
Should be your voicemails for.
You're fucked. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get a lot of emails. I didn't have time. What? So what? Do I need to manage your inbox for you? Do I? Or, fuck off. Fuck off. Because honestly, if I turned around to someone and said, oh, yeah, I've got too many emails and didn't get a chance to read it, can you imagine the spray I'd get in return?
Imagine if you had like that. I had too many phone calls. Yeah. I had too many phone calls. Couldn't answer all those.
Yeah,
just didn't answer them.
Too many. Too much.
Too much answer the phone calls. Yeah. Too busy.
Too busy for that. But this is the excuse you get from people. Oh, I was too busy to look at that. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm too fucking busy to chase you up then, aren't I?
Yeah.
How fucking dare you?
Busy doing my job.
Yeah. I had one guy who wrote me an email. He's like, I need when, all the dates when these were done. And no, he didn't say that. He's like, why hasn't all this been done? So I sent him back like a page. Look at my emails. Yeah, I sent him back a page of all the things that I have done. Every single one that he asked for is already done. And more than that, it was done like a week or two ago. He hasn't even noticed that it's been done. He's like, why haven't you done this yet? I'm sorry, it was done last week. Where the fuck have you been? And so I sent him this thing, and so I followed up and I said, hey, look, seeing as you didn't know that this was done, maybe I can help you out. Maybe I'll CC you every time that I do one of these things. That way you don't have to chase it up a week later thinking that it's not done. I'll do that for you. And you know what this fucker's reply to me was? He said, I don't have time to go through all those emails. So I'm sorry, you don't have time to read your emails, yet I have time to go back and backtrack and and bring up all the fucking things that you're asking about that have already been done, which you don't know about because you don't have fucking time to do your emails. What a cocksucker.
Yeah.
So ever since he said that, I don't have time to read your emails, I thought, okay, good. So whenever I get one from him, I've set up a rule so it drops into a separate folder. It doesn't even come directly into my inbox. Yeah. And
you're so nice guy. That's well done, mate.
Thank you, mate. Nice. It drops into a separate folder that I only look at if I've cleared everything else out. Like it's literally the last thing I look at.
I look at those emails, mate. You're busy.
Yeah. Well, why would I prioritize him? He's clearly not reading my emails, so why the fuck do I care? He's probably only, there's people that you work with that only send them and never reply.
Yeah.
He's one of those types. He only ever sends stuff and he never replies to stuff. So it doesn't take me long to figure those types out, and I just reply. I reply in kind by not replying at all.
Hello, middleman. I like it.
Yeah. Well, that's, and if anyone asks, I would be like, well, why would I reply to this person? They never reply. I don't think they even get them. They never reply to me. So it's a waste of time writing to them.
Exactly.
Sorry, And I'm not about wasting time. I don't have time to waste. So yeah.
Well, we obviously do, because we've wasted an hour of this show and we haven't started it.
Half an hour, 30 minutes and 45 seconds. But yeah.
I love this show.
I know.
So
We need to just start doing a show about office stuff, I think.
It turns into office space. We need a
how to manage office life with Boogs and Greeno. That's the
I know we want to touch on the Discord, because we've had some fantastic people who've been sending stuff through Discord. We completely ignore time after time after time.
We do.
But if I can, I need to touch on a more urgent topic, if I can, before we get to the
How
Discord.
urgent is it? Was it urgent like a month ago, and now it's not so?
This is top priority. I want to have.
What are the chances?
I'd like to have a discussion about vinegar, if I can.
Vinegar. Okay.
So
I like it on hot chips with plain salt.
Can we? It's a story time, I guess, if we can.
Story.
I like stories about pinatas.
So, because I've been on leave, I like delving into cookbooks that I don't normally use, because a lot of them are like just very time conducive. And after work, I don't have time to fucking whip up a 3.5 hour meal. When I'm on holidays, I got nothing but time. I got time up the ass.
Sure.
So I like to spend that time cooking these delicious meals out of cookbooks I've got that I spend money on that just take too much time to do.
Yep.
So I've been delving into some cookbooks, found some bangers, by the way, absolute bangers in these cookbooks. Enjoyed the first week of these meals I've never tried before. Some have been great. There's been the occasional dud. And not when I say dud, like tonight was like a squid pasta, which in itself was fine, but I make better pastas.
I want to ask something, Graham. First, I'll address Dave in the chat who says, definitely an office segment would be awesome. I used to work corporate here in the States. Not much of a difference, it turns out. There you go. I bet it's the same everywhere. I bet it's the fucking same everywhere. It'd be the same in India. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I've sent Ravi the same fucking email about this insurance thing for like a fucking month now. He not reply to me. You know, he's getting all these fucking rupees. He's too late. He's too fucking busy to read his emails. Fucking what the fuck, man? You know, it'd be the same thing in every country, I reckon. Yeah.
Except Indians are paid like, 1/12 of what we're paid, hence the reason our jobs are getting shipped over there.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, but the atmosphere would be the same. Like the same
Right.
the same struggles. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've mentioned this before, but sorry, we'll get back to your story, but I have mentioned this before and it's definitely worth watching. There was a short series, I think it was on ABC or SBS years and years and years ago. And it was probably 20 years ago or 15. You'll Google it, I'm sure, Greeno. It's called She'll Be Right, Mate. And it was I think it was like a 4-episode series. And it was about Australian corporate culture.
Mm-hmm.
And basically just went into depths about how fucking lazy and obtuse we are when it comes to corporate world, like compared to other countries around the world. Yeah, and it was so fucking good. And now here I am, like kind of 20 years later, finding myself in it and like, wow, they fucking nailed it. Like nothing's changed. 20 years later, it's like everyone's like, fuck, she'll be right. Pass the buck.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck. Exactly. Not interested, you know? It's that kind of shit. Like do whatever you can to skate through. That's the core. That's the culture.
Your paycheck, move on.
Yeah, fucking 100%, man. So yeah, in regards to cookbooks, now
you're anti-cookbook.
Yeah,
you hate cookbooks. You're like you go with the vibe.
I'm a freestyler. Yeah. And it's not because I'm
rocking the microphone. I like it.
Oh yes, exactly. Straight from the top of my dome, Greeno. And now it's not because I'm particularly talented when it comes to cooking or anything. I generally cook like when I'm cooking meals during the week for us, like for the family. I do like kind of meat and 3 veg situations because it's like, that's what I hate. That's what I like. Honestly, I'm a pretty blue collar guy, so. I like a steak and some potatoes and some broccoli, and that'll do me. Like I'm pretty happy with that. But fancy stuff, yeah. it's not because I dislike recipes. It's because if I try to follow a recipe, I'll fuck it up. I'll make it worse. Like if I'm trying to measure things properly and stuff, I'll make mistakes. I'll forget an ingredient or something. Whereas if I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to make one of these, and I will look at I'll scan through a bunch of different recipes for this thing, and it'll be like, okay, I get the rough idea, and I'll just figure it out from there, you know? And then it works out generally pretty good. If I try to follow it to a T, that's when I make mistakes. So I'm better off just kind of ad-libbing. But in regards to your cookbooks, I was going to suggest to you, if you're going to have like a cookbook holiday, what I want you to do, this is what I would do. If I'm going to have a cookbook specific holiday, I'm going to get cookbooks and read it. I want to get those fucking cookbooks with the brown covers that our parents used to have from the 70s, like microwave cookbooks and stuff.
They are the worst.
No, that's the shit you want. That is, I want to. If I'm going to do a cookbook holiday, I'm going to get I'm going to go to a garage sale. You know, there's always cookbooks at these garage sales, and they're fucking 50 years old.
Women's Weekly 1979.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to do a microwave goat casserole or something from 1973. You know,
Can I do a story time inside the story time?
Please.
I like stories about pinatas.
When Mum and Dad renovated their kitchen, Mum's like, "Hey, son, you love cooking.
Yes.
Like, I know you love cooking.
Here's some cookbooks. I got the same shit, mate. I got the same shit.
I took these cookbooks and I went through these bad boys cover to cover, and there was literally nothing edible in these fuckers. They were so bad. I'm like, no.
Oh, it brings back memories. Yeah.
It was the worst. Like a chicken chasseur. I haven't seen a chicken chasseur since 1992.
When the most fancy thing in the cookbook is duck à l'orange or whatever it is, you know you're in trouble.
When you duck à l'orange and done in a microwave.
Yes, microwave duck à l'orange.
It was duck à l'orange and three ingredients. I didn't even have duck in it. It was fucked up. Like, it was a weird time in the 80s.
Here's one, baked bean quiche, Greeno. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
Every third recipe was a casserole.
Yes, lots of casseroles.
The same base with a different protein.
Didn't they love a casserole in the 70s? Is global warming actually real, and it was actually 30 degrees colder in the 70s? Because why the fuck are we eating stew in Australia in the summer every fucking year? What's going on there?
In these cookbooks, because I literally went from cover to cover because I'm like, I'm going to relive my childhood here. I'm going to fucking do this.
Fuck yeah.
And I went through it so bad. There was literally only one cheese available apparently in the 1980s.
Yeah, just and it was just cheese. Yeah,
cheese. It was just like cheese. Add cheese. It was bad. There was no seasoning. The only seasoning involved, like
salt
and
pepper.
Herb
Yeah.
You know, the herb oil now it's got 700 different things. No, not in the 80s, not in the 70s. Salt, pepper, you're done.
Yeah. If you were fancy, you'd add mixed herbs, Greeno.
Yeah, exactly. You snazz it up.
We don't even know what's in it. Mixed herbs. Nutmeg. We'd put nutmeg in there.
A story time inside a story time inside a story time.
I like stories about pinatas.
When I first moved in with my now wife, I didn't know how to cook. And you try to put on that, like, oh, yeah, I can take care of it.
I'll cook you something at home and then we'll have sex later. It'll be great. Yeah,
exactly. Everyone's a winner. Like, man, cook, like, this is fucking, that's foreplay right there. Yeah. I didn't know how to cook, so my assumption was if I just add mixed herbs to everything,
it'll mask whatever mistakes I'm making flavor-wise.
It'll be sweet. It's all good. Turns out, no. We have like a trauma in our household when it comes to mixed herbs from what my wife enjoyed when I would cook when I first met. So there you go. Story time outside of the story time. We can close that story time.
I've got one.
I like stories about pinatas.
Because I'm very similar. When I first met my wife, I couldn't cook either. And one of the first things I cooked for her, I'm like, don't worry, babe, I got this. I'll take care of you tonight. So I cooked a steak, but I put it on a bed of pasta, and the steak wasn't chopped up or anything. I just got I cooked a whole steak and put it on top of spaghetti.
Yes,
plain spaghetti with no sauce or anything. She still mentions it to this day. Remember when you did that steak and spaghetti thing?
It's absolutely genius. I once the first meal I ever cooked. It wasn't for my current wife. It was for a girlfriend prior, and I was trying to impress this girl. It was like a first date. She came over. I'm like, man, I'm going to show her. I'm a man of the world here. At 17, like I know my shit.
I've got all Mum's cookbooks. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're going to make some spotted dick here. It's great.
I made a stir fry, but it was more in the end ended up like a soup. Because once again, my theory was the more liquid I put in, the more flavour.
Yeah.
So then everything that was in Mum's cupboard went into this stir fry.
Oh no, vinegar, soy sauce,
soy sauce, fucking oil sauce. It was a concoction. Yeah. And look, the girl must have loved me at that time because she's like, "Oh, this is nice." It was fucking terrible. It was a wet mess. It was
not the kind of wet mess you want.
Not the wet mess I wanted. I didn't end up with the right wet mess, but nonetheless, I put the effort in. But lessons learned, improve from there.
Yes.
Which brings me to the story at hand. So going through the spice book, and I come across the ingredients I'm writing my shopping list this week that I hadn't really seen before. It was Chinese black vinegar.
Okay.
Like I've never heard of this personally. And then it made me go through my cupboard. And I'm like, well, I need to have a conversation about this. We need to have a conversation about vinegar. Because vinegar has unintentionally got out of control. I have 8 different vinegars inside my cupboard.
Okay, well, I definitely know. I know regular vinegar and apple cider vinegar. And regular vinegar is also the toilet cleaning vinegar, if I'm not mistaken. Like that's the kind of vinegar you clean shit with too. So,
and here's the thing: the question is, what is a regular vinegar anymore? It doesn't exist.
I think it's that no-name brand one that comes in a juice bottle. that's regular vinegar to me.
There's cleaning vinegar. That's the one you're referring to. You can't drink that because that's fucking poison.
Okay, you can't put it on chips?
No, you use that to kill mold inside carpet. So that exists. In my one, I've got balsamic vinegar. So one.
Oh, of course, balsamic. I used to love balsamic vinegar. I used to put it on every salad I ever made. Balsamic.
We've got a balsamic. Then we've got a thickened balsamic that goes on salads.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's a bit gooier, but it's still got a balsamic flavour. Then we've got an apple cider vinegar, which you've already mentioned. Then we've got the old school white vinegar, which is fine. Then we've got the old school brown vinegar.
Ah, a brown vinegar.
Used for pickling liquid. Then I've got a white wine vinegar.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Different to the white vinegar. Then I've got a rice wine vinegar, which is different to a white vinegar. It has similar elements to the white vinegar. And then I've got a red wine vinegar to go with all those. So I'm now at like 9 vinegars. And now this current recipe is asking me to buy a 9th? Get the fuck out of here with your vinegars. We need to scale the vinegar thing back. We need 3. Pick your 3 and we move on.
So cleaning vinegar has to be one of them. Because otherwise we'll be cleaning the carpets with balsamic, Greeno, because that's going to be on the list. It has to be.
You know what? We need a balsamic for the dressing.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like we need a brown for the pickling.
What about apple cider, Greeno?
It's going to have to go, mate.
It's going to have to go.
We have to get rid of the apple cider.
You know, a lot of people use that in like health food and stuff.
Oh, I use it on plenty. Hence the reason I've got fucking 9 vinegars in my cupboard. I use all of them.
Yeah.
But we need to scale it back. There's too many vinegars. Too many variants. Surely we can cut it down to a spelt 3. That's all I'm saying.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Nice, Gary Greeno.
We'll be going an hour. We should probably get to the Discord with my apologies. I got distracted by vinegar. It fired me up. The big issues.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of passing. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Yes, welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. As Greeno touched on earlier, there's been people have been contributing to the Discord, and we feel like we haven't been giving the Discord enough love. So I'd like to bring up a couple of items that have been raised in the Discord. This one comes from Jim N-Word, Greeno. And I thought this was fantastic because we've previously spoken about, obviously, Coon Cheese, Greeno, changed their name. There was a football stadium, I think, that changed its name about 15 years ago. It was called like Nigger Brown or something that changed their name, so they changed their name. So it's happening in Canada too, fantastically. The Australians of the North, as we like to call them in Canada, cold Australia, Greeno. Name of Vancouver Island Creek deemed offensive could be changed, Greeno. The name of this creek in Vancouver Island, Coonskin Creek, Greeno. That's scary.
Nice, Gary!
Coonskin Creek has been flagged by Natural Resources Canada as derogatory, and a request has been made to the Cowichan Valley Regional District to rescind the name. How do you, again, okay...
How do you pretend a name doesn't exist?
I don't know.
Also, is the word coon offensive in other countries other than Australia?
I don't know.
I thought it was just an Australian specific.
No, I think it's a Western world thing now.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a Western. Well, clearly it is. In November 22, Natural Resources Canada sent a letter to provinces and territories to take meaningful steps to change any derogatory names, and Coonskin Creek was identified as one. I want to know the other ones.
Can I pause for a moment?
Mm.
What if this is just an enunciation issue? What if it's Kowonskin? Can't we just call it Kowonskin moving forward?
Kowonskin Creek.
Kowonskin Creek.
It's got a nice ring to it, Greeno.
Ah.
In 1952, the creek was officially given its name, and there's no record of why it was given the name, but it's a term used to describe raccoons.
Did they used to gut raccoons?
If it's referring to raccoons, my question would be, why is it offensive?
Well, you just changed the name to Raccoon Skin Creek.
Raccoon Skin Creek.
What's the problem?
However, it's also a term that is highly offensive to the black community. There's a community, Greeno. Several Yubo residents CTV News talked to Tuesday said they don't want the name changed at all. Well, clearly that's a racist town then, isn't it?
100%.
The letter given to the CVRD about rescinding the name is on the agenda for Wednesday's CVRD board meeting. Wow, that must be a fucking laugh, hey? The CVRD board meeting, Greeno?
Imagine that board meeting. Remember we used to go to board meetings at the community radio station?
Yeah. We went to two, I think.
It's a whole bunch of very lonely people who just wanted to argue for 2 hours.
Complain about shit.
About shit that really didn't matter.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are we doing here? What's this all about? Like we just assume we're trying to do the right thing by the radio station and understand the issues. They were just complaining about the most random thing. We're like, I assume that is what this is.
How come there's no new milk in the fridge? What? people wiping down? Are people wiping down the desk before they leave the studio? Or oh, okay. I thought aren't we here to vote on like funding issues and stuff?
Yeah.
No, none of that.
No, we have 19 different complaints to get through first on the agenda of business. Yeah. That's what I feel like this is. This is community radio board meeting.
My swipe card doesn't work anymore. Okay.
Terry from Indigenous Anonymous over there has stolen my swipe card. I'm convinced he's wiping down the port.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Coonskin Creek, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice,
I've already fixed it, man. Call it Raccoonskin Creek or Cowanskin. Everyone's a winner.
Cowanskin.
You don't want to change the name? You don't want the name? Just change the enunciation. Cowanskin. It's not offensive anymore. Put one of those French, is it the French thing where they put an apostrophe above an O?
That's a French thing, I guess. Yeah.
Whatever language it is, because I don't know. I'm very uncultured. Whatever they put the apostrophe above an O, whack one of those bad boys on it, and then suddenly it's not coonskin anymore.
Oh, Cowanskin.
Cowanskin. Yeah.
Oh,
there you
fantastic.
go. Fixed it.
This
you
comes
know
from
nothing about Canada. I know nothing about lakes. Between us, we fixed it.
We fixed it. This comes from Foggy Greeno. Was listening to the show a few weeks back when you and Greeno brought up Vivek.
Well, there's the first mistake. Foggy, don't listen to the show.
Don't listen to it. You made a mistake there.
You made a mistake there.
Thought you'd like this.
Time.
Thought you'd like this since Nikki Haley is also Indian. So Nikki Haley's now the only one running against Trump, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Nikki, mate, fucking that's the most Indian name I've ever heard there.
Nikki Haley, yeah, she probably changed it for showbiz, Greeno.
Is that like wasn't there an American politician, so much everyone who said she was indigenous, like an American Indian?
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe with Nikki Haley.
She said she was an American Indian and she knew this fact because she saw a picture. Apparently, she saw a picture of her great grandmother on the wall of her childhood home and thought that she had a similar cheek structure or some weird fucking thing like that.
That'll do it.
Yeah, but then she also said that she was an American Indian when she applied for a job at a university when she was young to be some kind of lecturer or professor or whatever the fuck she was doing. And then eventually she was kind of forced to do a DNA test and found out that she's like 99.98% not Indian. So,
oh, 98.0.
So you're saying I'm part Indian then? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So from Foggy, was listening to the show a few weeks back when you and Greeno brought up Vivek. Thought you'd like this since Nikki Haley is also Indian, but the opposite of based. So I can't play the video for this one. I can play the audio. So this is Vivek, I think it looks like on the debate stage with Nikki Haley. So let's have a quick listen, Greeno.
Are you crazy? You're fucking paranoid. You are fucking.
Oh, now see, I kind of need to show the video. I wish I could. No, I can't show the video, unfortunately, because it's on Discord. So basically, there's a debate happening between Vivek and Nikki Haley, and they've just overdubbed the voices, Greeno.
Oh.
Okay, so
this... You bloody bastard bitch! Fuck you! Bloody fuck you, bloody! Fucking mother bloody fuck bitch! Bloody fuck you!
Fuck your mother bloody fuck bitch. Fantastic.
Nice, Gary!
There you go. And Jim Enward also says Happy Australia Day on the Discord. Thanks, Jim.
Are we allowed to say that? Should we check?
Well, let me run it past fucking legal first, Greeno.
Can we, we're on politics, because we're talking politics. I'm going to get to your idea that it's been stolen by others.
Yes.
You said political Swifties
yes.
Throughout the course of the week. Let's quickly touch on that while we're talking politics, if we can. Because I think the point of the article was the fact that anyone that Taylor Swift endorses is going to swing the vote by 18%.
18% of voters more likely to back Taylor Swift endorsed presidential candidate. Poll shows, Greeno. Taylor Swift may influence the revolts of the revolts. Well, there could be those. The results of the 2024 presidential election, with nearly 20% of voters saying they are, quote, likely to support a candidate endorsed by her. The poll conducted, Redfield and Wilton Strategies, shows 18% of voters would align their choice with the singers, according to Newsweek. However, it also shows 17% of voters are less likely to vote for a candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift.
Nice, Gary!
I think I fucking read the article before putting the rundown. So there's no actual fucking point.
So what you're saying is a Taylor Swift endorsement literally cancels itself out.
yourself out.
Because if 18, let's say 18 people, if Taylor Swift comes out and says, vote for Joe Biden, 18 people jump up and say, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because Taylor Swift said so. There's going to be 17 people that say, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because Taylor Swift said vote for Joe Biden.
That's politics in its finest form.
Well, what other? That's a good enough reason to vote for anyone for me, as far as I'm concerned.
If Taylor's on board, you think that's a good reason to get on there?
Oh no, to vote against whatever she says.
That's my point.
Yeah.
No, because I agree. That's the reason I stopped watching Kansas City Chiefs games this year.
Yep.
Had to fucking nip that in the bud pretty quick with all the Swiftie shit.
The singer's endorsement appears to impact younger Americans most. You don't fucking say. With approximately 3 in 10 voters under 35 saying they would vote for a Swift-approved candidate, Swift's endorsement would only influence 4% of those aged 65 or older, but that's because only 4% know who the fuck she is.
Yeah, exactly.
And God bless them. Lucky they are to be in that situation.
And out of that 4%, 2% only know her because she shows up on the NFL nonstop.
Yeah. I've actually seen people saying that it's a conspiracy theory, and what they are doing, they rigged the NFL. This is the opinion out there, Green. I don't know if you're aware of it. They rigged the NFL so the Chiefs would be in a Super Bowl, and what they're going to do is use that as a launching pad to run Taylor Swift as the vice presidential candidate. Now,
I'm down for that.
I want that to happen.
I want that to happen.
Yeah.
Because if that is the most convoluted exercise I've ever heard of,
I want it to be true. Yeah.
I want that to be true then.
Because people are saying it like it's some kind of awful thing. And I'm like, no. If there is, let's say you're right, and there is a conspiracy theory to get the Chiefs into the Super Bowl in order to propel Taylor Swift into the vice presidential seat, let it happen. Because then you'll be able to legitimately turn around to everyone and say, holy fuck, look at this conspiracy theory. Like, you'll be proven right. Like, you want this to happen, don't you? Because otherwise there's no fucking way on earth it would. It would have to be some kind of convoluted conspiracy theory. Like, it would have to be some kind of setup by very powerful people, because it's not going to happen naturally. Right? So let's see it. I want it to happen. Don't you want President Taylor Swift one day, Greeno?
Probably not.
Why not? Why not? What's the difference?
Yeah, fair call. What is it?
What's the difference?
Put whoever up there. Yeah. How's she feel about warmongering? She down with the warmongering?
I don't know. Probably. She'll be down with whatever she's told to be down with.
Exactly. She'll be down for the warmongering. So put her in. But the first female president, we'll get that out of the way. We'll tick that box. Yeah. Equality. Like, has the White House done unconscious bias training yet?
No, but I'm sure they will. She's been with a lot of black men, so.
I don't think she has.
Hasn't she?
I think she's very much with the white boys.
Are you
Taylor?
sure? I thought she's been with a lot of black guys, Greeno.
A lot of white guys, I think, Taylor.
Can you Google it? Can you bring it up? Taylor Swift. I want you to bring up Taylor Swift with black men.
Right.
See what happens.
Taylor Swift black cock. Let's see what pops up. Oh, no, that's going to do that AI lawsuit, isn't it? Taylor Swift, boy. I'm going to do I swear it's all white guys. It was like John Legend. It was, okay, who is Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends? List. Wikipedia. Let's go. We've got a Jake Gyllenhaal, white guy. Joe Jonas, Taylor Lautner, white guy. John Mayer, white guy. Jake Gyllenhaal, white guy. Harry Styles, white guy.
So she did Gyllenhaal twice, did she?
Looks as though... Oh, no, wait, sorry. No. Only once. I saw a picture of him, so I mentioned him, and then I'm going through the list now. Okay. Harry Styles, white guy. Calvin Harris, white guy. Tom Hiddleston, white guy. Matt Healy, white guy. And now Travis Kelce, white guy.
Wow, there you go. So she's racist.
No, she's very racist, Taylor, yeah.
Let's vote this Aryan queen into the presidency as soon as possible then, shall we? Yeah. Nice stuff. Good stuff. Democrats embracing their roots. I love it.
Is this so which ones? I don't understand the Democrats and the Republicans. Which one's the Democrats? Is that the Biden or is that the Trump?
That's the Biden, yeah.
Okay, that's the Biden. So they're going to get rid of the black woman as vice president, bring in Swiftie?
Well, she's not black though, Greeno.
The tan woman then.
She's half Indian, half Jamaican.
That's close enough, isn't it?
Not to an American. Not to a black American. It's not. Hang on. Are you saying no? Actually, and if you want the real stuff, her family were actually slave owners back in the day. So
Nice, Gary.
that's the irony, because she'll get up there and say, as a black woman in America, and it's like, well, hang on, you're half Indian and half slave owner. What the fuck are you talking about, love?
Did you say she had Jamaican heritage?
Yeah.
She owned a bobsled team.
Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. Fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah.
There we go. Are we even doing the show tonight? Have we started?
We're recording. Let's do one more, and then we'll get the fuck out of here, I think.
There's a couple other things we need to touch on, but we'll get to it. Yeah, let's talk on this one.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this. I'm so happy about this. I've been waiting so long for this to happen, Greeno. As you know, I have literally been talking about this fucking thing for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, this is a long-held view of mine, and it's finally here. Billionaire Peter Thiel bankrolling Olympics on steroids event.
Nice, Gary.
That allows athletes to dope. Silicon Valley billionaire Peter Thiel is throwing his financial muscle behind a, quote, Olympics on steroids, whose organizer boasts that athletes will dope, quote, out in the open and honestly. Finally. No drug shaming, Greeno. Thiel, who made his fortune as an early investor in tech startups like PayPal and Facebook, is backing the Enhanced Games. Nice name. You know what? Enhanced Games is good. I'd like to call it the Fair Olympics.
Nice, Gary.
You know why it's the Fair Olympics? Because everyone's free to dope. Because currently you have the Unfair Olympics, and it's won by the people who don't get caught.
They get busted. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not fair at all, actually. Oh, no, we do drug testing to make sure no one's taking it. Yeah, but your drug testing's shit. You spend billions of dollars on it and people still do it and get away with it. So it's completely unfair. Yeah. So let's have the Fair Olympics, and everybody can everybody can take as many fucking steroids as they want. The venture, aimed at aiding research into nutritional supplements and biohacks that push the boundaries of human performance, is the brainchild of Dr. Aaron D'Souza, a lawyer by training who famously conceived Thiel's lawsuit against Gawker Media. He plans to provide more details on April 17, Greeno, listen to this, and promote the controversial concept in Paris during the Summer Olympics, which begin in July. So if it's a slow day in the Olympics, we're going to be like, you know what, maybe we should give them all steroids.
Yep,
that's at a press conference. Thiel is among several high-profile venture capitalists who have backed the project, including billionaire Christian Angermeyer and of Apron Investment Group and Balaji Srinivasan, that Indian guy, the former chief technology officer of cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase. D'Souza would not reveal how much money was raised, telling the Post it was in the single high-digit millions, a sum that is enough to produce the first games. I would go further than that. You know how much money they spend on drug testing in professional sports? It is obscene, Greeno. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars trying to catch people who are taking drugs. I would say stop doing that, and then you'll have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to spend on the games. It would be great. You wouldn't need all that corporate sponsorship anymore. Yeah. D'Souza said the Enhanced Games are negotiating with several host cities, quote, that have requisite infrastructure. Would that be a lot of toilets, Greeno, in train stations?
Nice, Gary.
Would you think? What would the requisite infrastructure be for the juiced up games, Greeno? Would it be a lot of dark alleys? I reckon they need to do it in Las Vegas, obviously.
A lot of pharmacies.
Yeah. Las Vegas or King's Cross, I reckon.
Yeah.
You should have the juiced up games. Though he declined to specify which venue would host the inaugural competition, which he expects to get underway in the middle of next year. Fucking nice, Gary. I'm so excited.
Nice, Gary.
What do you think? What are your thoughts, Greeno?
Enough time for the boys and girls to get their cycles running, or what's the go? Like years and years, no, there's plenty of time to juice in that period, isn't there?
Well,
or is he targeting existing juicers? What's the go?
Existing juicers obviously have an advantage. They know their way around the juicing scene, Greeno.
Yeah.
They've probably got, the good stuff on hand. The competition.
I feel like the existing juicers try and like tail it back a little bit to not be overly obvious. So they want to be like specifically jacked in certain ways, but don't want to like overshow it because they don't want to get busted for drugs. I feel like they can push the limits further if we give them like a 2-year window. Just go like fucking go Burko for 2 years. You got 24 months. How big can you get?
Greeno, would you like to hear the events?
Well, you'd have a shot put because I want someone to shot put that fucker out the stadium.
That's exactly what I tweeted earlier today. Fucking cerebral. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Literally word for word. I want to see the shot put go out of the fucking stadium.
Maybe that's why I knew the joke because I read your tweet earlier. My bad. I think I stole your joke. My apologies.
The competition will. It's not a joke. I believe it. It's real. The competition will feature 5 events: swimming, gymnastics, weightlifting, track and field, and Greeno, my favourite, and combat.
Nice.
Combat. So we're going to juice up these guys and let them beat the shit out of each other for our own amusement.
That already exists. It's called the UFC.
UFC. That's right.
The drug testing in UFC is very loose.
How's this for a catchphrase, Greeno? D'Souza, this is D'Souza's catchphrase. My body, my choice. Your body, your choice. Oh, yeah, I like it.
Well done. Nice, Gary.
Yeah, I like it. Fantastic. Nice, Gary.
I'm down with it. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be exciting. I don't see it ever. I think it's a publicity stunt. I think it's actually going to happen because you're not going to be able to get the event insured. And that's going to be the biggest issue.
Why? Why couldn't you insure it? What's the problem?
Well, because you're going to have to get. There's going to be lawsuits because ultimately, because you got to indemnify for injury for any kind of sporting event. So I can't see anyone insuring the juiced up games.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to take it too much of a risk. The underwriter's going to write it off. But it could be proved wrong.
Well, I also think one of the upsides of this is, okay, so people will run the 100 meters in 3 seconds. They'll shot put the thing out of the stadium and we'll kill off all of these athletes nice and young, Greeno, so they won't be sticking around for the next 20 years endorsing fucking Sprite and shit, you know?
Yeah, that's good. That's a win.
Get rid of all that stuff. I can tell you this is getting a lot of support on Twitter. I want to run you through a few of the replies here. That was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Roids should be mandatory for professional sports. If I have to pay $300 for nosebleed losing team NFL home game tickets, I deserve to watch the best athletes science can produce. Nice, Gary. I gave that one a like.
Gary.
Maybe I'm alone in this, but why not see what humans can do when they decide to completely max out their own biology using what we know? Eager to see it, honestly. Unlock confidence and renewed passion today. That's an ad. Finally, a billionaire using their fortune for something good. Baseball steroid era was the best era. I think everyone agrees with that.
100%, man. 72 home runs again. Yep. Amazing.
This person says Olympics on steroids is just called the Olympics. So there you go. Plenty of support on Twitter, Greeno.
The question would be, where do we draw the line? Are we talking?
We don't draw a line.
No, and that's okay. Here's my question then. Are we talking pole vault with kind of like the pogo stick advantage? Can we do that?
No, because that's an equipment thing. This is just body. So maybe
just body. That's my question. Can we technically advance? Because like, you get fucking because you got
robotic legs,
the rowing that you can fucking whack an engine in the back.
No. That's the equipment. So we're just modifying the body of the athlete, not the tools.
Body only. Okay, tools we still got rules on. Yeah. Bodies go nuts.
That's
okay,
right.
Good to know.
Your javelin needs to actually be, checked off by an official. Now you don't have to piss in a cup. Now, if you've been taking steroids and God knows what for the last 10 years, we're happy with that. However, please line up here and have your javelin measured before you throw to make sure it complies with the rules.
Can I just make like an observation and a thought, a prediction, if you will? Yeah. The human spirit, the human nature,
it's not Rudy.
Is gonna find a way to cheat in the fucking steroid Olympics. Because I can see old mate putting some springs in his shoes to get an advantage on the other juices. I can see someone using a pogo stick for the pole vault. I can see someone trying to find a way to get a little bit of an engine or some kind of propulsion in the rowing. I think there's going to be other ways people are going to try and find a way to cheat because everyone still wants to win. And they're like, well, hang on, we're all on the gear?
Yeah.
We better we better juice up the equipment then.
Juice up the equipment. So now we'll have to have another kind of Olympics then.
It's juiced up equipment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we can get rocket ships in the rowing. Propeller pogo sticks for the pole vault.
Someone just gets a missile and straps himself to it for the long jump, It's like, well, exactly. He jumped 2 kilometers. Look at that.
He jumped 2 kilometers. Yeah. It wasn't in the rules. He said, he said fucking go nuts.
Yeah.
But I like it. I'm going to see how they go.
Yeah, I can't wait for the juiced up Olympics, Greeno. Pardon me. I want the coverage to fully embrace it too. You know, where they would put up on the coverage and say, well, he ran third at the World Championships last season, then he ran second in the heat, and this is his best time. I want them to put up the stats of, well, he's taken 400 milligrams of this fucking hormone. This month. You know what I mean? Like, really fucking go hard. I want to see the athletes having steroid company endorsements, Greeno.
Now we're talking. So instead of Usain Bolt talking about how he's, I love my Powerade, it's, I love this particular methamphetamine.
Yeah. Instead of having the guy on the front of the Wheaties box, he's on the front of a bag of weed, Greeno. You know? I start every day with a good line of cocaine.
Yeah.
You know?
Fired up.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's do it, man. Legalize it, bro.
Nice, Gary!
I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before. But after watching the NFL season this year, it's kind of linked to that and the corporate and the advertising thing. Watched a lot of NFL this year, the back end of the year.
How'd the Bills end up doing, by the way? Good old Bills.
Knocked out in the qualifier, like effectively the quarterfinal. They knocked out by the Kansas City Swifties.
Yeah, but they'll be around, won't they, for the next few years? The Bills, they're a pretty good team, aren't they?
Well, they can't get out the fucking Chiefs. The Chiefs just keep knocking them out every year.
Yeah.
They're thereabouts. Josh Allen's an absolute weapon, but just can't get past the Chiefs no matter what.
Yeah, they'll get past them one day when Taylor Swift's president, Greeno.
Exactly. When she's busy, distracted by those things. Then,
when they're no longer rigging the games for the Chiefs to make Taylor Swift president. Because once she's president, the Chiefs, you guys, if you're out there and you're a Chiefs player, you need to know this. Once Taylor Swift's president, there's no need for you anymore. You know, they're not going to rig it for you anymore. So, that's when the Bills will come knocking, I think. Greeno's still there.
NFL.
Oh,
there still here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. The amount of ads that I'm seeing on the NFL this year
it's disgusting.
Is beyond, like, it's incessant to the point where I feel like over the course of an entire game, there's more ads than actual game time. And I meant to go back and sit there and do it, but I couldn't be asked. And count the minutes. It's almost 50-50. And why does this sound familiar? And do you remember the movie from like the late 90s, Basketball?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm drinking Marlon Brando's ass fat. Oh, my God. It's so warm and salty.
That movie was a comedy, but it turned out to be a fucking accurate prediction of what current sport is. Go back and watch that. And it fucking nails what sport would become in the next 20 years.
Okay.
It is it's almost a documentary.
Yeah, right.
Unrealistically. I'm like, That sounds ridiculous, talking about, how quickly players change teams, all the corporate sponsorships, all those kind of things. And I'm like, that is exactly what it is right now. It's unreal how accurate it ended up being. And makes a lot of sport unwatchable. I
often think about Gaelic football in Ireland, Greeno, because years ago, and again, maybe years, I don't know, I think they've done this a couple of times and it's always been rejected. But they've previously had votes to turn, because Gaelic football is like a very popular sport in Ireland. All right, it's actually popular around the world because there's Irish people all around the world, but no more so than in Ireland. And when I say popular, I mean like they regularly get like 50, 60,000 fucking people to these games.
Yeah,
it's a very popular sport, and they've had votes in the past where it's like, should we turn this game professional? Like, should we pay the players to play Gaelic football? And it repeatedly gets voted down, no. And even the players, it's still an amateur. I think it's one of the only amateur sports remaining that's like a major sport anywhere. Because in parts of Ireland, it is their national sport, Gaelic football. You know what I mean? They're obsessed by it, especially in the south. Less so in the north and in like places like Dublin, but definitely in the south. It's like they love their Gaelic football. And they vote it down. They keep it amateur. So these guys work jobs. They live in the town. And if the town is trying to get someone to play Gaelic football, they'll get a kind of rudimentary match payment. Nothing flash, nothing terribly exciting, nothing to write home about. So they get a little match payment. But when the local town or the club is trying to court a player to come, they'll be like, yeah, we'll get you a nice job. We've got a nice place for you to live if you want, and we'll set you up with a nice job, and then you'll play football for us, in the summer kind of thing, or in the winter or whenever the fuck they play it. And so they repeatedly vote down, we don't want to go professional. And the reasons that they give is because look at every professional sport around the world, it's a joke. It's a farce. And like because of the shit you just mentioned.
You're
Players
right.
changing
Yeah.
teams, no loyalty, corporate fucking interests get involved.
It's just the advertising throughout.
Yeah,
It's just fucking brutal. I think I messaged the.
So
you
they
boys.
eliminate all that by keeping it amateur, and then it's just it's really just local sport at that point. There's no big corporate fucking interest kind of deciding who does what and who can do what. You know, they don't have to worry about any of that because it's not professional.
Watch the sport
in the
and
first place.
enjoy the sport. Like I talked about it during I didn't watch any Big Bash this year because I have no fucking interest anyway. I thought I'm going to watch the Big Bash final.
It was
like it's
okay,
fucking on.
yeah.
Sydney's on. It's all good. And because I'd never watched any of the coverage this year, I didn't realize how much of a corporate whore the Big Bash had become.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where like someone hit a 4 and it was like, there's the Chemist Warehouse boundary. I'm like, well, what was that?
Nice,
And every
Harry!
time someone hit a 4 or a 6, they had to say the words Chemist Warehouse to the point where the commentator in the booth didn't even say the word boundary a few times because it happened so quick. And he's like, I got to make sure I say the word Chemist Warehouse. And a 4 would be hit, he goes, Chemist Warehouse. And that was it. I'm like, the dude's just blabbering the words Chemist Warehouse now.
Fucking hell.
And then it got to like the next bit and it was like, here's the Macca's scoreboard or whatever.
Yep.
And so, but everything was just a corporate sponsorship. So a game that's meant to be like
Everything
fun.
is sponsored. Everything is sponsored.
Every individual small moment in the game, like the game only went, like I only watched an hour and a half. And in that hour and a half, I must have heard the equivalent of maybe an hour worth of corporate sponsorships.
Yep.
Just through like casual, it wasn't ads, it was casual comments, right?
Yep.
And it got me thinking, if you're going to be because the coverage was so, I turned it off after the first inning. I'm like, I'm not watching this. This is horrible. I'm not going to sit there and hear the words Chemist Warehouse 8 million times. Fuck that. Like, just tell me there's a 4. I don't need to know there's a 4. I just fucking watched it. You don't need to be, it's a Chemist Warehouse boundary. Go fuck yourself.
I remember 15, 20 years ago talking about this before when nobody even really noticed it. And I remember being accused of being a fucking communist for bringing it up, Greeno. No, honestly, I would say that these corporate interests are going to infect every aspect of sport. They're going to sponsor. I said, don't be surprised when they start advertising the ad breaks. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, this ad break is brought to you by, right? And I'm like, you're a fucking commie. You know, I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking commie at all. This is what corporate interests do. They get in to find things and they infect them. And you watch TV shows. If you listen to radio about sports now, Greeno, if they interview a sportsman, like let's say, I don't know if he is sponsored by anyone or not, but let's say Ricky Ponting goes on a radio program and they'll say, Ricky Ponting is brought to you by. Yeah, because he has corporate support for that interview that he's doing that day. Mm-hmm. They sponsor everything. Everything is an advertising campaign. It's fucking. It's not enraging. It's just mind numbing. It's like
it defeats the point. Like any brand, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a Chemist Warehouse now because that's just going to fucking annoy me. Yeah. But here's my other thought. It's already so unwatchable with what they're doing. Just fucking go the whole hog. I want everything now to be sponsored. That Zero Run was proudly brought to you by Burger King. That single proudly brought to you by whatever you want to fucking Goodyear tires.
Well, I'll tell you, Jimmy Johnson, he's going to have to do some work here in the next pit stop to get ahead of his rivals. He's running a good race. Dale Earnhardt's Juniors are brought to you by Valvoline. But Dale Earnhardt's comments are brought to you by Valvoline. Back to you, Bob. Bob's brought to you by McDonald's. Let's go to our KFC ad break now. Penright's Jimmy Johnson is featured here.
Jimmy Johnson. How many corporate references can you make in the space of one sport? Like, just fucking go the whole hog because it's not far off already. You've already ruined commentary. It's the worst.
Well, the Japanese, to their credit, were well ahead of everyone in this regard because they name their sports teams after companies, don't they? It's like the Yamaha this, the Nissan that, the Toyota this, like.
Well, my favorite sports team in
I think you've mentioned this before,
is the Nippon Ham Fighters.
That's right.
Nice.
And people assumed that is a team that fights ham.
No.
No, it's Nippon Ham, Fighters. Like the team name is the Fighters, and they're sponsored by Nippon Ham.
Nippon Ham Fighters.
But it sounds like Nippon Ham Fighters when they say it.
So good.
So it sounds like these fuckers are fighting hams. I'm down for the fucking ham fighters.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
They've always done that, the Japanese, like the Yokohama something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's just how they roll. But
That's how they roll.
but in their culture, the corporate you know, that is their community, isn't it? In Japan, like they take so much pride in their work. It's
I can deal.
They
I'll
tell
deal
you
with-
who they work for before where they were born, you know.
I will deal with someone being called the Nippon Ham Fighters if I don't have to hear the words Nippon Ham, like, that's a Nippon Ham boundary.
Yeah.
Like, well, I suppose it's catch-22 because you're going to have to call the team the Nippon Ham Fighters. But can you call them the Fighters and move on?
I remember once upon a time, because I was a Rockets fan, Greeno, and I think it was in the mid to late 90s where the Rockets' home stadium was always called the Summit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
no, I swear it was called something else.
it might have been something else. But they renamed it to like the Toyota Center or something. And there was such an uproar about it. And I was like, now I need to remember what the Rockets' home.
I'm looking up now.
Okay. I could have sworn it was a Summit, but anyway. And they renamed
What's the Summit? The Summit, then called Compact Center.
Compact Center. Thank you very much. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary!
Yeah, so I was right. It was the Summit when they were winning championships. And then they renamed it to some fucking company. And then there was such an uproar about it. Like, it's like, oh, God, how could you do this? How could you do this? That's nothing now. Like, that's nothing. And that was in, like, what, 95 or something they did that?
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
That would have been one of the first ones, I reckon, like one of the first big stadiums that was kind of, yeah, okay, you guys don't own this anymore. The company owns it now, you know. The companies may have sponsored it beforehand, but they never, I think that was one of the first cases where the company went to the extent of renaming the stadium in their own name, you know?
Yeah.
That's why it was such a controversy back in the day.
Here's the thing.
Is Madison Square Garden still Madison Square Garden, or is it fucking McDonald's Square Garden or something now?
Nah, it's still Madison Square Garden, but everything else is corporate branded, unfortunately. Yeah. Something I might have mentioned in the show previously. The corporate branding, it can get confusing at times. Because last year when I went to a concert, I bought tickets for a stadium sponsored by a particular insurance company. So I bought these tickets assuming I was driving to a particular area on the assumption that that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
So I'd organised accommodation nearby and said, oh, sweet, we're only 20 minutes away, blah, 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 blah. And then I was speaking to the wife and I'm like, oh, I probably should look up, it's at this stadium. Turns out the corporate branding of the stadium had changed to a different stadium. So where I thought I was going, so a particular stadium was called
sat nav to something, and you end up somewhere else.
The particular stadium I thought I was going to was in one area because that had always been called this particular branding stadium, but I didn't realize their sponsorship deal with that stadium had ended the year before, and they bought a different stadium sponsorship branding. So on the ticket, it doesn't say the address. It just says you're going to this particular branding stadium.
Didn't that happen with the ANZ Stadium, which then became?
That's exactly the stadium we're talking about.
Stadium Australia. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, well, it became Allianz Stadium. So
Allianz, but Allianz used to be the Sydney Football Stadium, wasn't it?
That's my fucking mistake.
Thank you. Nice, Gary.
I thought I was going to Homebush.
And you ended up in fucking Randwick.
It turns out that I was meant to go to the city, so thankfully I gave myself enough time because I'm like, hang on, what the hell? I'm literally 20 minutes away. What the hell? No, you got to go all the way to the city, fucker.
Yeah. So Allianz decided, okay, we're not going to back this stadium anymore. We're going to back that stadium on the other side of town instead.
And they still called them both Allianz Stadium.
Fucking hell.
There you go. The perils of corporate branding.
Nice, Gary. Anything else you want to touch on? Or?
There's something I want to touch on because we're going to do a quick nice Gary, not quite a sorry book, but we'll say nice Gary to the Creek. Mitch Marsh, who won the Alan Border medal this week, which seems to be the hardest one.
We'll give him a sorry book. I think he's earned it.
Once again, our criticism, not particularly our fault, but nonetheless, he won for our American listeners, the equivalent of like the MVP of Australian cricket for the year. is a guy who was picked really, really young in the Australian cricket team when he probably didn't deserve selection.
I was a big fan of him back in the day, and I thought he would go great guns. And then I had to hear for 10 years from Greeno mocking me, saying, "Oh, Mitch Marsh, eh? He went well, didn't he?" I'm like, well, shut up. You know, I believed. I was a believer, Greeno.
They stuck with him. They gave him because they're on potential. They stuck with him for way too long, and in turn, Australia kind of turned on the poor kid. Not because like he was a bad guy at all. It was just he kept on getting these opportunities that, quite frankly, he probably didn't deserve.
Kissing him up a wall, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he eventually got dropped, and then he came out. He did this interview, and he's talking about how like all of Australia hates him, and everyone kind of felt a bit bad about it. Like, why do we hate Mitch Marsh? Like, he's not a bad guy. Like,
it's not his fault he got picked. You know?
Like, and then we felt a little bit bad. And then he's come back. He got picked back in the Test team. We criticised it. I criticised his selection in the Ashes last year because he hadn't played Sheffield Shield in 2 years.
Yep.
But he'd been doing a lot of work in the background. And he turns out he had an absolute fucking gangbusters, fucking pretty much saved the Ashes for us in some way, shape, or form with that 100 at Headingley off the top of my head.
Yes.
And has just been kicking ass since, and turned out to be the best cricketer for Australia over the last 12 months. So he won the Alan Border medal, pointed out the fact that like, he was generally fucking touched to winning it, pointed out he's like, look, I'm a bit of a fat fucker and I love a beer, but like I try my best.
Nickname's the Bison, Greeno.
Yeah, he's a fucking big boy, piss head.
He's a big boy,
Seriously, his teammates all fucking love him. And that's why he didn't get dropped in the first place, because he's a good fucking team guy. We know he's got the talent. We just need him to fucking.
I'll never forget that quote he made after he made that 100 at Headingley, and he was in the press conference after it, and he said, "I think I'm the only guy to ever make 100 whilst being on holiday," because he was just traveling around with the team. You know, he didn't expect to get picked for anything. He was just traveling with the team. He was just one of the boys, you know, in the background who never played a game. And then they picked him, and he came out and scored 100 and said, "Yeah, I think I'm the first guy ever to score 100 in England whilst on holiday." So
he's going to have a chance in Test team. He's had a fucking unbelievable year. Scored a bunch of hundreds in the World Cup. Well-deserved Alan Border medal. And generally, like, I was thinking about it because you hear these things, and you kind of forget that, not that he hears fucking what we say, but he's like, "Oh, Trey kind of fucking hates me." And you generally feel bad. Like, why are we criticizing this guy? Like, it's not his fault he gets picked. He's trying his best. Like,
if anything, it was the selectors who should have been blamed for that, not him.
Like, really good dude. So happy to see him have some success.
Well, and that just goes to show too, the Australian cricket team needs to kind of loosen up a little bit as well. I don't think it's going to happen with Cummins, but they definitely, like, the more you see of the cricketers, the more you like them. It's that kind of thing.
Well, that's what the current involvement. That's something he said in his speech. He goes, I want to give a big shout out to the leadership team because they just let us be us.
Yeah.
And like, maybe not a public persona. Like, well, actually they do, because they just let Mitch Marsh say whatever the fuck they want. But
yeah. In the Ponting, fucking Michael Clark eras, especially, it was not that way. It was like,
he said, no,
play it with a straight bat. You know, everything with a straight bat.
And so he said, look, Paddy's leadership is kind of one of the reasons he's had success, because Paddy just lets him be him. So, nice Gary to the fucking creek. Well done.
Nice Gary.
Nice, Gary!
All right, that's all I got. We had other stuff in the rundown, but let's not waste our time on it.
We had so much stuff in the rundown. We'll just save it for next week, and then you don't have to do a rundown next week. We'll just do it then.
Everyone's a winner.
All right. Fantastic.
Any plugs? What's happening?
No plugs. No.
Excellent.
No plugs. See ya.
Next week.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the